Hello and welcome to another tutorial brought to you by TalkingExcel.com. I'm Simon Carr and this is the second screencast in a series looking at array formulas in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so I've set up a spreadsheet which is showing me sales in 4 city stores for oranges, apples, grapes and bananas. And what I want to do is we want to use the sum function to sum up the values in different ways. So for instance, we want to get the sum of sales for bananas in the London and the New York store. Now obviously in this case, such a small table, we could just do a sum function and select the cells we wanted, but imagine that we had 50 stores and we had 5,000 products. That's not quite as simple. So I'm just going to get straight into doing a sum function with a built-in array formula, and you'll see that's the easiest way for you to see how the formula works. So equals sum, open brackets, and the first thing we want to do is to open another bracket to put the whole data table that we want to be extracting our values from. So that's F5 to I18 in this case. And next we're going to use an asterisk, a multiplication sign, and I'm going to explain to you the significance of that shortly. We're going to open another data table, another bracket, and this time we're going to highlight our fruits, and we're going to say that that should equal, so we only want to look at bananas. So we highlight the cell bananas in, close the brackets, we put another asterisk, a multiplication sign, we open brackets, and this time we highlight our cities, and we want that to equal, we want it to equal, in this case we'll type it in London, and we'll close brackets. I'm going to put another bracket there and a plus sign, and again I'll explain to you what the plus sign means shortly. Open another bracket, highlight our cities again, equals New York, close brackets, and we'll close off the second bracket and we'll close off the sum. Okay, now remember with an array formula in Excel, in order to get them to work, you've got to finish them off with Control, Shift and Enter. If you just press Enter, you're going to get an error. So here I'm pressing Control, Shift and Enter, and it's given us a value of 4,600. So let's just double check that that's correct before we go back to looking at how this formula is actually put together and why it works. So we're looking for just bananas in London and in New York, and we should be looking for a value of 4,600, which is correct. So it's given us the right value. Okay, so how did that work? Well, first of all, just to reiterate, the curly brackets around the outside of the formula, they're there because we press Control, Shift, Enter. Excel puts those around any array formula. You can't type those in yourself, or you could, but it won't actually do anything. So what we've got here is we are looking for the sum of, and then we have our array formula within the brackets of the sum function. And the first set of brackets in here is our data table. Now the times sign means and the plus sign means or. Okay, so we're saying that we only want to add up data in our table where the where anything in E5 to E8, which is our fruit, equals C13, which is bananas, and which is the asterisk sign, and we then got another open brackets to put this function and this function inside, because we're using an OR on that. So if you know SQL, it's working very much the same as that. So we want the sum of this data where the fruit equals bananas, and we want the city, which is this range F4 to I4, to equal London or to equal New York. And then we're closing the brackets off, and it's given us the correct value. It works. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, so this time we want to get the sum for oranges. And we only want to let the sum of oranges in Paris or in Madrid. And Control Shift and Enter. So let's just double check that that's done what we wanted. So we wanted Paris and Madrid. Total is 5,000, and that's what we've got. Brilliant. So we know this is working. What we'll do is make it a little bit more complicated, and we'll do two ORs. So equals sum, and we want first of all data range times, so we're going to open up 2 this time, so we want our data range, and we want in this case it to equal grapes or bananas, and the city has got to equal London or the city has got to equal Madrid. Well, that wasn't London, was it? That should have been New York. And Control Shift and Enter. 6,750. So grapes and bananas in New York and Madrid, 6,750. So you can see how we've not only started to build up quite a complex formula, but been able to add some logic in, as we would do if we were writing an SQL statement. Now you might be thinking to yourself that how's this really going to help you in a real life situation? Well, let's just imagine that we were to that rather than just having bananas typed in there, that we were to put in, let's go to data validation. Data validation, we want to have a list of data, and our list is going to be the fruits. Okay, so we've got our fruits in there. Let's change this C13 to equal B13, and Control Shift and Enter. Now let's choose oranges. Now then we can see we're suddenly adding some real value to this spreadsheet, and that we are in real time able to change what the formula is looking at through these through a drop down, and it's only possible through the use of the array formulas in this sum function. And again, we could do the same thing, and we could replace our city with a drop down. So let's put in data validation. We want a list, and we want the source to be up here, and okay. There we go. And what we're going to do is make a slight change to this. We'll get rid of our OR. That can equal our drop down. We get rid of this extra bracket we've got here, and Control Shift Enter. Now, looking for grapes in London, or we want to look for apples in New York. So apples in New York, 600. So I hope that this screencast has shown you the power and the versatility of the array formulas. Hopefully you can go away and you can find something really useful to do with them in your own spreadsheet. Come back next time and we'll look at more array formulas, and we'll look at how we use them to count rather than do a sum function. Okay, till then, thank you for watching. Remember, you can visit the website at www.talkingexcel.com.